Hi, guys. Welcome to the first episode of Outspoken and Overbooked. This show is for women juggling careers, chaos, all the things that life is throwing at us. I'm so excited to have our first guest today, Tara Renze, author of Be Who You Came to Be. And we're going to go over so many exciting things that she's doing, and we're just going to go from there. This is our first episode, so let's go. Tara,
Let's go.
welcome. How's it going?
Well, first off, I am so honored to be the first guest of your podcast. I think that you're one of the most entertaining and fun people I've ever met in my life. So this was an honor for me. And it's nice to be on the other side of not hosting the podcast, just getting to come on and talk.
Well, we're glad to have you. I know that you do speeches all the time, so you're definitely more equipped at this than maybe myself. So I'm hoping to learn a few things from you. But for the listeners that don't know, can you tell us about your book, and we'll just kind of jump in from there?
Yeah, so I'm Tara Renze. I am an author, a keynote speaker, and an emotional intelligence expert. So I travel around the world. I haven't done any international this year, but I have done international in the past. But I travel around and do keynotes and workshops about my message, which is called Be Who You Came to Be. That is what my book is titled. And it's my overarching message that was inspired by a letter that my 87-year-old grandmother wrote to my newborn son almost 2 decades ago. And, it was, I don't think I knew when I read the letter the magnitude of her life's advice, which she wrote, Be Who You Came to Be, love will guide you. But those words just really stuck with me. And I use it for raising my kids, to raise them to be who they came to be, not who I wanted them to be, or their dad wanted them to be, or the world wanted them to be, but really help them find their authentic voice. And then I started sharing it with people, and it was just so loved that I made it my life's work in 2018.
I absolutely love that. One thing I was curious about, as you do travel around to all these different events, and you and I have talked, offline about this, is when you're interacting with women, what are you seeing, or what are you hearing out there on the message that they're taking from the book and using in their day-to-day lives?
I think what happens with so many women is we get all this advice in our lives, right? Up until till we get out of school, but there's graduate high school, then go get some sort of a certification or go to college, find a partner, get a job, maybe have a house, get a couple kids or some pets, and then just keep working and doing that. And then what we find is we're like, okay, well, what the hell is next? Like, is this it? We ask ourselves, like, is this it? And the Be Who You Came to Be message is essentially this idea that we never arrive to a certain point in life, that we're always a work in progress, that we can always elevate and grow and change. And so for so many women, it's this permission slip to get back to their authenticity, to who they are, to what they love, to make some bold moves and some big decisions. And again, give themselves a permission to say, like, hey, who I was at age 30 is not who I am at age 35 or whatever it might be. And I'm always going to be growing and changing.
Absolutely. And I have really run into this a lot lately with women in business and their confidence levels. So as a recruiter, I talk to specifically women, having come from the industry myself. And I think there's so many women out there that this is one of the reasons I wanted to start the podcast, that I don't want to say they think like of themselves too small or whatnot, but like one no and they close that door back up. Like, I tried one thing, it didn't work, or I got a no, so I better just stay in my lane. I better not try new things. And so I feel like through your book and probably through your speeches, you're helping so many women. But I'm like, I think back to my own experience. If I would have gone with every no that I've been given, I'd be living back in my mom's basement at 9597.
Oh
You
my gosh,
know,
it's so true. And you know what? Women do play small. I mean, we have been raised to be polite, and assertive women have gotten mislabeled as bossy or bitchy, and that is not at all what it is. So we play small, we water ourselves down, we don't want to disrupt. And it's not about disrupting or being bossy or any of that. It's about having our authentic voice and being able to make decisions and say things that are best for us. And I think, rejection is the easiest place for us to look, right? Because we don't like to get told no. But it's part of life and it's part of work. You know, the whole middle section of my book is called Own It. And it's about owning our authenticity, knowing we're not going to be for everyone. And
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 being
our
okay
business
with
isn't going to
that.
be for everyone.
And being okay with that. Like,
Oh, yes.
oh my gosh, the girls or women that I know that are like, oh my God, you put yourself out there so much. And, you know, so and so is like, I can't believe Brinkman says all this stuff, you know, on her Instagram. Don't follow me. Like, I'm going to be who I am all the time. So it's no surprise. I don't have to be this person in this group and this person over here. And, you know, sometimes I am too much, and that's okay. Because if I'm
Yeah.
not those people's people, most likely those people ain't my people. So,
Right. You
you
know,
know,
I always say like you can be authentic or you can be liked by everyone, but you can't be both.
right.
And I don't like everyone. I know you probably don't. I know for a fact you don't like everyone.
Not every
Um,
single one.
but we don't. I mean, and you know, for some people you're going to be too much. For other people, you're not going to be enough. And then you find your people. And I think this notion, I don't know where we got into this of like wanting to be universally liked. And it doesn't have to be liked. Like we can just be respected. I mean, there's some people that I don't love them, but you know, they're not like my people, but I respect what they do. We're just different. And you know, I use musicians in my keynote to really drive this notion home of like, musicians are successful because they 100% write the music that's in their heart. They are aligned with what they're singing and what they love. And if a musician tried to write a song that everyone would love, they would never have music because it would be so watered down and boring that no one would you know be like, they'd be like, it's okay. I mean, Taylor Swift, I know you're a big Tay Tay fan. Perfect
Watch
example
your mouth.
of owning it. You know, I mean,
Okay.
if Taylor Swift can get booed at the Super Bowl, someone is not going to like you. I mean, she's by far the most successful female entrepreneur of our time. And she still gets haters.
Absolutely. And I feel like I just read about it this week. I just posted about it this week. Nobody doing more or working harder than you is going to take the time to put you down. Period. In any
100%.
industry, when I hear chatter about somebody saying something negative about me behind my back about my business, is this a real business? No, I'm playing house over here. But like, why would an adult person take the time out of their day? Like, blows my mind.
Right.
Like, you need a hobby or you need something positive to do. That's so funny that you said that about Taylor because I was jotting down some lyrics earlier today that kind of go with when things, you know, when I gotta know this past Friday that kind of rocked me for a little bit, but where I'm at now with my business, it was very short lived. I'm like, I'm not
Right.
letting anybody have my power anymore. And so there's a couple of songs of hers that really, I mean, I love all of her songs, but the lyric is all that time you were throwing punches, I was building something. Don't let anyone with their negative talk or actions towards you, like, affect what you're doing. Like, whether it's your fitness journey, your business journey, you know, whatever it may be, raising your kids. It's like so many people take this outside feedback and it's like, they're not in your home. They are not in your
Right.
business. And like, why are so many women like let these outside things in? And so there's another part in that same song that it's like, there wouldn't be this if there hadn't been you. And, you know, that resonates with me and me starting my business 3 years ago. It wasn't part of the plan. But due to,
Right.
you know, circumstances beyond my control, like shout out to that person because I love my
Exactly.
life. I love my business. But I probably would have been too scared and gone the safer route and worked in corporate forever. And now it's like what I didn't see coming is like the absolute best thing that could have ever happened at that
Yeah.
time.
I have a saying, it not working out always works out. And when it doesn't work out and it's painful and it hurts, you're only human and we learn from it. My grandmother always said it's only a mistake if it happens twice. The first time was a lesson that you needed to learn. But it not working out always works out and it always redirects us and points us in the right direction where we're like, oh my God, that time when I thought, you know, how could I ever recover from this was the exact pivot that I needed. And, you know, Kristen, I joke that I'm in the rejection business. As a keynote speaker, I get rejections all the time of, nope, she's not right. She's not right for our stage. We don't like her message. We don't like her. I mean, I don't like the way she looks. I've had people say, I mean, it's just a constant rejection, rejection, rejection. And then guess what? I get hired by someone and I'm the perfect fit for their audience and their stage and their event. And I want to be on the stages that I'm the right fit for as much as they want the right speaker on the stage. And I think that that's where I've just gotten so aligned with like my message, who I am and what I'm up to. Have I ever told you about the 1-star review of my book?
No.
Oh yeah, this is one of my favorite rejection stories. So, you write a book, you put yourself out there, and people love to leave reviews. I mean, we live in a review world. People like to read reviews. Interestingly enough, when you leave a book review, it's not like leaving a restaurant review where they're like, "We would like to make that right with you. Come on back in and we'll buy you a drink." No, this is just a book review. It's like, not for me. So I got a lot of great reviews on my book when it first came out, and when I self-published it, and it was just on Amazon. And 5 stars, your book changed my life, like all these great reviews. And then one day I get this review, 1 star. And she says, 1 star, this book was not for me. I immediately threw it in the Goodwill pile. Which, just so you know, I mean, I designed my book to be pretty. It has gold foil, and even on the new cover of it has. Did you know that it has a gold foil cover under the It has a gold foil hardcover under the cover.
Of course, I know that. It has traveled internationally with me.
Okay, yes. So it's meant to be pretty and like put it on your coffee table. So she threw it in the Goodwill pile and then went and left it on a review that it was like so shit that she put it in the Goodwill pile. Now, I got to tell you, it did sting. Like, I am only human. Like, I poured my heart and soul and love into this book that I am very proud of. And, 1-star review. And it kept me up at night. I kept thinking about it. And finally I was like, you know what? I'm just going to let this go. I let it go. And months later, I get a message from a girl on Instagram, and she is in her car, and she's holding up my book, and she says, "Look what found me today." And she said, "I found this book on a day I'm losing my heart," is what she wrote. And I was like, oh my gosh, just keep shining your light. Like, she said she lives in Kansas City, and we put a couple things together. And of course I was like, well, where did you find the book? And she wrote, "I actually found it at Goodwill." She said, "I go there to search for things, and today your book found me." And then the funniest thing, Kristen, she goes, "I hope the location isn't disheartening." And of course I was like, well, no, it's actually not. But it just goes to show that, like, when you're your authentic self and you put yourself out there, you're not going to be for everyone, but you will find the people that you're meant for.
Absolutely. And I freaking love that story. I love a goodwill. I love a good deal. But yeah, just because it wasn't for that one person, it's like, again, to take the time for that person to say that negative review, it's like, what value did that bring to your own day? Like, I don't know. Sometimes
Right.
I feel like people just put the energy into the negative stuff when it's so much easier to either zip your lip or wait to say something positive. You know what I mean?
Did you know that giving someone a compliment is a natural dopamine hit for you and them?
Yes.
So that's why it's like, I mean, and you know how it is, like, negativity just brings you down. In fact, they're saying now that 80% of the time when we get off of social media, we feel worse. We feel worse about ourselves. We feel worse about our self, regard, about, who we are. And then you start thinking about this in, like, for teenagers, teenage girls specifically. I mean, it's so sad to think about and we get caught up in this negative just cycle of, negativity and people. It's so easy to troll on the internet. And what's wild though is, like, if we actually shifted that to positive stuff, it is this natural dopamine hit. Sometimes I go online, and if I'm feeling down, I actually just go start leaving people like, "You slay, you look awesome, smoke show," like, what a
Wait,
babe.
you didn't mean that when you said it on my story that I looked
No,
at?
I did mean it. I say I go through and do it just because I like the
Okay.
dopamine hit and it makes me feel great.
Yeah, because you really helped me that day.
I think you're a total smoke show.
Oh, for sure I am.
Except for when you were so deathly ill for a very long time. I was very worried about you.
I know. That's the thing on my story, on my weight loss story. I do not put all that stuff on my public page, but that's where I have like my diary. And I will tell you this, which I don't even want to give attention to this that much, but probably like 7 years ago, someone shared one of my videos and thought they were sharing it with someone else. And they sent it to me, and they're like, "Does she know how ugly she looks?"
No.
Are you tuning in to Kristen's weight loss journey for fashion and makeup tips?
What did you write back?
Oh, they immediately was like, "Oh my God, that wasn't meant for, that was something else." To this day, I cannot look that person in the face because I'm like, and I was a friend. It wasn't just like a stranger. It was somebody I considered a friend, and I thought, again, to take
Air
the time.
quotes, friend. With friends like that, who needs friends?
Yes, and that was years of knowing this person, and then that happened. And I remember it was early on in Jimmy and I just dating, and I bawled my eyes out at the restaurant. And he's like, I can't believe you're taking this hard. I was like, I trusted this person. I loved this person. Um, but I'm like, oh my God, I was duped to think that this person was genuine. And, but also going back to what value did that bring to your day, to your life, to make someone else feel like shit? And that is what, when I eventually become a speaker, it's going to be really career focused and really, confidence forward or whatever. But the things that people do to cut other people down, I'm like, we got to stop that, especially females like our age. Like,
Yeah.
okay, if you're in perimenopause, you shouldn't be putting people down at this point. Like, mind your business, go
I
take
mean,
your hormones. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you have
exactly.
enough problems. You don't need to be stirring up stuff and causing problems for other people. Like, be cool. You think they're not
Yeah.
going through some shit also? You know what I mean? Like, it's not
Every
that.
single person is going through something. And here's what I found. Like you said earlier, the people who have it together, the people who are being who they came to be, they don't have time for that nonsense. They don't have time to think about it. And here's the thing, like the whole notion of be who you came to be means that don't be like me. I don't want to be like you. I am 100% authentic to me, and we're all different. And if you think about the only reason that you ever get irritated with someone, annoyed with someone, is because they are not doing what you want them to do. Like that's the only reason you ever get annoyed by anyone. Is, I wish that they were more like this, or I don't like the way they do this. It's you projecting what you want on someone else. They didn't come to be you. It's like back to raising my kids. I think that, people ask, my boys are wildly successful and they're great kids and they're emotionally regulated and they are kind individuals. And people ask why. And I believe it's because we raised them to be who they came to be and not who I wanted them to be or their dad or someone else, like to really own who they are. And that has given them the confidence in themselves, but also the permission for their friends to be authentic to who they are. And it's just been such a blessing, I think, to have that letter in their life. And it's changed their lives and how and who they are today.
Absolutely. And I love that. And I think about my own son and, graduating in the pandemic and, all those things that went on. I'm turning 40. He's turning 18. There's no graduation. There's no birthday parties. You're not going off to college. All these
Right.
things that you have. And, I had one shot at it. Um, but watching him start college from the spare bedroom at the apartment we were living in, waiting for our house, um, I could tell that his passion was not there on those online
Right.
classes, and like that was not his path. So could I have made him, first of all, Annie picked KU to go to over K State, so I went to Berkeley.
Rock
That sucked.
chalk, baby.
So I'm glad I never had to go down that path. But anyway, he's now running his business. I just spoke to him yesterday. The amount of people that have used his business, Brink Exteriors, if you need your lights done, your gutters, or your windows, plug there.
This program is being brought to you by
Brink Exteriors. Find him on Instagram, Jacob Brinkman. But in all honesty, it's like watching him work his ass off, build this thing up from the ground up, having been in the business for 3 years, doing it for someone else and realizing what pieces were missing and saying, no, I'm not going to do that to people. I do believe in service at such a
Yep.
young age, especially as a male. But again, like you were saying, letting him be who he is and not being like, you have to go to college because everybody else is at college.
Yes.
What are the
This
moms
is a
going to
big
say?
thing. This is actually a big thing. I've had several women and they're so upset that their child is not going to college and they're going to get a technical degree or do something. And the thing is like, I'm like, why would you be upset about that? First off, these technical degrees and these companies like your son is running, highly profitable. Like my husband and I were talking the other day about what electricians are making.
Exactly.
It's insane and they're in demand and they're not going anywhere. And I think that it's so hard again because that is you projecting on your child what you want them to be.
What you have to do, you have to get this piece of paper. At 45 years old, the amount of people that I know that are actually using their degree is not that many. I'm doing just fine. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. And so, but it is,
and I didn't even finish.
it's projecting who you want your child to be versus honoring who they came to be. And it is hard as a parent. There were times when my sons quit something that I saw a lot of talent in and it was something I loved. And, it was hard, but again, it was they're not living my life. They're not like, well, I'm going to do this because my mom wants me to. And we've all done something to try to make someone else happy, and it ends with resentment. And it's never a good thing. Like, we have to honor each other's authenticity. And that starts with allowing people to be themselves and not tearing people down. And you know what, Kristen, I just don't have time for that anymore. It's so annoying. And any woman who's doing that really needs to take a close look in the mirror and figure out what they want to do with their life, because ultimately I feel like, they want more, they just don't know how to get it.
Absolutely. And I feel like, shout out to Mel Robbins. She's probably going to be my next guest on here. But I've learned so much from listening to her podcast, really about stepping away from negative people. Like, the people that you surround yourself with the most, are they bringing positivity? And like, there's been some tough like breakups, or like shifting like how much time you're giving people, because at some point you can't let other people's negativity be taking so much of your time. Like, I need to just be focusing on the things that I'm building and being around more positive people. And it took a long time, but my friend Becky said, girl, you are going to love your mid 40s and going into 50, because you think you don't give up now. She's like, you really don't then. And I'm like,
I agree. I have loved my 40s. I mean, absolutely loved my 40s. I still have. I mean, we're only human. Did you know that 80% of our thoughts every day are negative, biased, and repetitive? Like, 80% of the time, our brains are thinking negative things. And it doesn't, I always say, like, this is why you are not your thoughts. Like, your thoughts do not define you. You have to treat your thoughts as data, and then you decide what are your truths and how you want to act. But your brain is just a data processing center that's like firing off different things all the time. It's how the human brain was designed to keep you safe. And it's seen so many patterns that we, it continues to feed negativity. I always say, like look no further than like 3 a.m. You're in a deep sleep and you wake up and your mind is like, hey, wake up. Yeah, remember that cocktail party in 2010 when you had too much to drink? Like, we're going to relive that right now.
So-and-so. Yeah. You think they're still mad?
And you just have to remember, like, you are not your thoughts. And when I finally like grasped that, and now I have a negative thought and I'm just like, oh, that's just a thought. Like, I've gotten mentally fit enough to know, like, those aren't truths. 80% of the time, my mind is just lying to me. It's become such a, relief to be like, oh, I'm so glad that these aren't truths. And it's just my brain short circuiting 80% of the time.
Absolutely. And I think for me, like, the years of like negative self-talk around weight and looks and not doing enough, like, I'm still like definitely a work in progress, but it's like, I would never treat somebody the way, or speak to somebody ever the way that I have over the years to myself. Like, oh my God, you didn't get your 17 workouts in this week, or you didn't drink your...
Yeah.
I can't even keep up at this point. There was a thing the other day, this meme, I shared it everywhere. I was like, I was never pressured so much for drugs as a teen as I told I was going to be, compared to what I'm pressured as a mid-40s to eat 700 grams of protein, work out 42 times, walk with a weighted vest. Like, I don't even know all the things.
All the things. Again, it's social media.
It's too much.
Yes.
Too much. I'm like, I don't even get to my protein goal before I have to get to my 15 others.
I know. I love the ones that are like, I don't remember drinking water as a kid. I follow this lady. She's it's called Lady Who Lounges or something like that. It's this girl, and she started putting her 91-year-old mom on. And Sally is a hoot. She's snarky, and she's 91, and she's Southern, so she got a great draw. And she's like, girl, we did not drink any water. I never drank water. She's like, and if I did, it was from the drinking hose.
Yeah. Or like, yeah, at Agnes with the no air conditioning, like, yeah, we would drink out of the water fountain. But these kids with these $45 Stanley cups, get out of here. I'm so glad I didn't have a daughter. And also, I would never buy a $45 cup. Shout out to all you that do.
Wait, you do not have a Stanley?
No.
Okay.
I'm principal.
Well,
I have some knockoffs from the Dollar General, but
I might have a little gift for you.
I don't need it. I would be upset if I lost it. It took me 40 years to buy my first pair of name brand sunglasses, okay? And they never leave this house because I'm too scared.
You know what? I used to buy designer sunglasses, and I don't anymore, because And just so you know, I can't lose a pair of $15 sunglasses. I can't lose them. Like, they keep coming back into my life. But the minute I bought a pair of Gucci's, I'm like, I literally lost a pair of Tom Fords in the airport once. One time in an airport, I did lose a pair of Gucci sunglasses going through the conveyor, the TSA. Yeah. And I called Omaha, is where I was flying out of, and they had them. And they shipped them to me. TSA did. It was like, I was like, there are good human beings in this world. But the Tom Fords never went out. They never came back. And that's when I was like, what was I thinking buying those sunglasses anyway? What a waste of money.
Well, you had me at $15. I called that expensive sunglasses. But anyway, you just got to go to Mexico and get yourself some Fay bands. That's what my bestie calls them. So.
We call them Chuchi and
10 for a hundy.
Louis Vuitton, yes.
Oh, Louis lives here now. Louise lives here now. Don't look close. It's fine. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to talk about is what we have coming up that we've been talking about. What's this butterfly goal? I saw a while back when you went to Nashville, cute outfits, by the way, rent the runway. But tell me about the butterfly goal thing. And like, I think your husband did his there and kind of.
He did. So the last section of my book, the last section of my keynote is called Live It. And it's ultimately this idea of like, how do we continue to be who we came to be? Because we get into our midlife and we get so uber focused on career and family, which are great things to be focused on, but we forget about our own identity. And ultimately our authenticity and identity is what drives success in every other aspect of our lives. It goes back to like, when you start working on yourself, everything else gets better in life. And so butterfly goals are these transformational personal goals that a lot of times we forgot about, we put on the back burner, we said, I'm too old, it's too late, I can't do it, I don't have time, we've made up every excuse. And instead we're like, you know what? Like, what if I actually took action on that goal? Now, these goals are wildly audacious in some forms, and other times it's something like, I've always wanted to learn to play the piano again. I'm going to start taking piano lessons and then, sign up for a recital or something. But the idea is that you're a caterpillar right now and you think to become a butterfly seems like such a process. And it is. Like, we understand that the caterpillar goes through this massive metamorphosis to become the butterfly. It completely deconstructs itself while in the chrysalis to rebuild itself to a butterfly. But when we vision it and we know we can do it and we know we're worth it, amazing things happen along the way. So that's why I call them butterfly goals, because, so many times we don't do it because it seems like such a transformation. And we have been wired and told to set, transactional goals. That's how we were taught to set goals. Like, oh, I want to get in shape. Okay, well, what are you going to do? I'm going to work out 5 days a week. Where instead it's like, what if you just decided to run a marathon? Or what if you, did, and you love Disney, so you're going to go sign up to do the Disney marathon and you get excited about it and you're training. And so it's not just like, I'm going to go run 5 days a week. It's like this bigger person, this greater idea that you're committed to, that you have the vision of what it'll look like at the finish line. So, they look like a lot of different things. For me, mine was getting on a game show, which I did. I ended up, I resurrected my butterfly goal of being a young girl in Kansas, got on a game show. I wrote the book. My husband's goal, his butterfly goal, was to always be able to play a guitar, like as a front man at a huge bar in Nashville, or really any huge bar, like basically though, just like a big, so he turns 50. We go, I get it set up to where he gets to go down and he actually air guitars, but he's an amazing air guitar player. We were at John Bon Jovi's bar. The place was packed, thousands of people. It's like it's like a throwback to like the 80s bars where they had the 90s where they had the different levels, but the band was down on the main floor and everyone looked around. Like, it was like the wildest thing ever. He put on such a show. And what was crazy about it is it just energized all of us. We had as much fun watching him carry out this dream of doing this. And then he just went all in on it. He didn't half-ass it. It was so fun. And it also then inspired every single person in our group to be like, what's something I wanted to do? What's something that I've always wanted to do and I've never done? And what if I actually took action on doing it? There's a gal she's actually a Kansas City gal, Diana Kander. She'd be great for your podcast. She's also a speaker. She recently did hers was to learn how to do a handstand at age 44. Kristen, she filmed every time 3,000 times she had to try it until she finally did it. And now, of course, she has like all these totally kick-ass pictures of like her in front of the Eiffel Tower doing a handstand. Like,
Right.
so they're just fun, and they totally get us back to who we are, what makes us tick. I mean, maybe it's planting a tomato garden, or learning to sew. Or my husband and I this year, we're doing one together, is he plays guitar and I sing, but we don't really do that much anymore. So we're going to learn 5 songs. And then we're going to have a party, and we're going to have a music party. And we're going to sing, and people can bring like djembes and tambourines and cowbells, and we're going to have a blast.
Harmonica.
Are you going to play the harmonica?
I mean, I could.
What's your butterfly goal?
So my butterfly goal, which this is what going back to like the negative thoughts, is that enough? Is my butterfly goal enough? Like, I've already done this before, but 10 years later.
Well, this podcast is one.
Oh gosh, I know.
Girl, this is a butterfly goal in action right now. Because when I first met you, you were like, I'm going to do a podcast. I'm going to do a podcast. And now look. We're
doing it. And just think about the guests I'm going to get coming up. Delilah, Taylor. I mean,
Travis,
maybe. Like
Mel Robbins.
Yeah, Mel. It's just gonna
Oprah.
Be Paul Abdul. Okay, don't judge. Anyway, my butterfly goal for this year is, or for now, I feel like I always want to stack them. But I used to teach spin classes. I loved it. It was Kristen's journey ride. I taught for 4 or 5 years. I got people in the door that would not have gone to a fitness class, like as I was going through my weight loss journey. I used to love it when like a tiny petite gal would come in, and by the end, like, they would be so sweaty, and so sometimes I have to leave. One girl was like, I had to throw up out by my car. I was like, thank you for coming. But I loved it. Like, anyway, it was therapeutic. It was obviously exercise. I just loved it. Bonding with the people. So I am getting recertified. I went on Monday to learn about the bikes at Woodside. I don't know if that'll be my final like home where I teach, but if it's something that you still think about 8 years later,
yes,
get your ass back on that bike. Spend the 189 buckaroons and get on the bike.
People
want to spend a Wilson Phillips. You know they do.
I'm scared to take your spin class, but I'm going to take it. I am not good at spin class. I'm like the girl who like falls off the bike, who gets the gears, like
Don't come to my first class. I'll probably get fired my first day. I got to get through the first.
Hey, you know what? You have another butterfly goal that I loved, which was to do stand-up comedy, and you did it.
I did do that. And that was years in the making. Fancy Janet has been my friend for like 10 or 12 years. And the night I met her, said I should do stand-up comedy. And her phone number is still in my phone as Janet Manager, because she wanted to be my talent manager. But yeah, when I did that last year, or maybe a year and a half ago now, it was like, I just had about 2 seconds of conversation with myself. Like, just go do it. Like,
just be who you came to be.
Yes. Something tragic had happened. It opened everybody's eyes that life is short, and I was like, who cares? And I had so much fun. Looking back, I did cuss a lot, and I was a little nervous, and that was sponsored by Deep Eddy Vodka that night. But I was who I came to be, and I loved it. I think if I would have planned it out and made a script or even had any sort of notes, I don't think I would have delivered half as good as I did, because I would have been too busy like, okay, here's a joke about my husband's outfit. Like, I just got on there and just kind of let it go. And so,
okay. And what happened because you said it was Fancy Janet. See, when you tell someone or you put your goal out there, that is a huge part of it. I call it the first and perfect step. And it's usually finding someone who's going to hold you accountable and help you do it. And like, remind you like, hey, remember how you said you were going to do this? Like, I'm going to be up on your ass now about the spin class.
Oh yeah.
You actually put it on your podcast. So, I mean, I'm sure that like this viewership's already up to like 10, 20,000. Like, you're going to have a wait list.
It's going to be insane, the amount of people that are going to want to get on the guest list for spin and here. But I still want to just be able to live a regular life. So please respect my privacy when I'm out in public. I told Jimmy, once this goes live, December 10th, like, we probably won't be able to drive around in my '08 Sebring with the top down as much. Because, stoplights, like, Kristen! Like, you know what I'm saying? So I just feel like that's going to bond Taylor and I even more. Like, we're going to do more at-home activities.
I know.
I'm going to get into sourdough and stuff like that. But no, I am doing it. And I'm doing it by the end of February.
End of February. Okay. I love it.
But I'm not going to go into too much detail on this. I'm going to add it to the notes. But Tara and I are also going to be doing a 60-day challenge as we kick off 2026. I will be the first to say I hate New Year's resolutions. I hate when everybody puts all their eggs into that basket. If they
Yes.
fail, then they feel like a disappointment the whole year. Calm the hell down. This is not what this is
Well,
at
and this
all.
is why these butterfly goals, they're important because they're transformational, where New Year's resolutions are always transactional. So the minute people fail on them, they're like, oh, F it, I messed up, I'm done. Like this
Right.
is transformational. It's going to be amazing. And we're coming up with an awesome 60-day program.
Absolutely. So there's going to be more details coming out to you guys about that. But as much as I can see programs like Hard 75 and things like that, I feel like those are so, in my opinion, unrealistic for long term that like, even if you do perfect for 75 days, what is your life like on day 76? So I feel like when
You're drunk.
you're drunk off your ass, you're probably not doing your outdoor walk. And I'll be honest, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not doing 2 workouts a day. I did it for like 8 years, 10 years. Like, I'm not doing that. I'm old
Yeah.
now. My knees make noises. Like, they need
Well,
oil.
it's about sustainability and again, transformation. So at the end of the 60 days, you should be in a place where you can sustain or keep going and not completely reset.
Right. And have a routine set. People that are going to be like accountable. My favorite teacher at Woodside, Monica, shout out, love you, miss you, has been out for like 6 weeks. My routine has been off since. I mean, I obviously been sick too, but like once you find your people, which that's what this group is going to be. Some people are going to want to meet up for workouts. Some people are going to want to be like talking
Give me a
business
recipe.
or like, yeah, a recipe, a workout. Today was a shitty day. Today was a great day. If I was in it right now, I'd be like, shout out to Augment, and I've lost 6 pounds in the last 7 days. Okay. If you would have told me I just needed to get deathly ill and go to the ER, I didn't know. That was my weight loss drug. So the shot didn't work, but Augmentin is coming through in a clutch. So I don't know who's trying to sponsor me from Nova, whatever you called, but you know. We never even paused for any of the commercials today, but we gave shout outs to Brink Exteriors.
We did.
And
We did.
that'll do. So Tara, I appreciate this so much. I wanted to keep these around 30, 40 minutes because people got stuff to do. You know what I mean? So more to come with our challenge. You'll probably be a follow-up guest as it gets closer. Like we'll do a little informational like meeting for
Yeah,
everyone to get all the
for sure.
details.
Yeah.
So as we kick off your vacation week's coming up, I hope you have the best time. Get a tan.
I know we're cruising, baby. We're cruising. One of these days, me and you will hit the open ocean on a cruise together. You know, that's what we should do is plan a transformation or butterfly goal cruise where we get a bunch of women, we dream big, we drink big, and then we all launch our butterfly goals.
I would absolutely love that. But you have to call me Christine if we're on the cruise ship because that's my alter ego.
Oh, it is Christine. And
Christine, like that. That's how
okay,
you say my name in international.
Christine.
Every worker. Christine, how are you, Christine? I'm good. I'm good.
Okay, I like this. I like this. I can be Amy.
Okay.
Okay. And only because I went to the nail salon, this one nail salon forever, and they thought my name was Amy, and I just didn't correct them. And then years, I'd been going there for years. Hi, Amy. I pay with a credit card one day. They're like, you're not Amy. Sorry. I got too far into it. I couldn't get out of it. I mean, it was like literally like a Seinfeld episode.
The guy that's been doing my pedicures for like 3 years now, Jimmy finally asked him his name last time we were there. Like, he was like, hey, what was your name? And I had to put it in my phone because the whole time, there's only one dude that works there. I'm like, this is Christine. See, now I'm thinking I'm in international order. This is Kristen. I need a book for my guy. My guy. That's all I say, my guy. Because there's only one guy. But I got his name now. It's Tang. He's fantastic.
I love it. My husband and I have that same pact. If I can't remember someone's name, I'm like, introduce yourself and ask their name. So he'd be like, hi, I'm Scott. And you are? And the worst is when they don't get their name. I'm like, okay, that didn't work. You got to ask them.
Yes. That's when it gets dicey.
Remind me your name.
Yeah. Melinda, my friend, when we used to do boot camps all the time, it's like 5:30 in the morning. I'll never forget. We're running stairs at the facility we were at. And she's like, how do you not ever remember anyone's name? I'm like, I don't know. So this lady, I was like, I'm never going to forget. Like, we had just had this conversation. The lady was talking to me. She said her name. We're doing the stairs. I was like, I'm not going to remember your name or forget your name, Susan. She's like, it's Linda. I was like, God, minutes. So now everyone just knows me as, hey, girl. Like,
hey, girl.
So if I call you by name, that is something. But
Okay.
it's always, hey, girl.
I love it. Well, I have loved being on the show. Thank you so much for inviting me. And congratulations on launching this butterfly goal.
Well, thank you so much for giving me the idea of the butterfly goal, and I appreciate your time today. We'll see you guys next time. We need some fade out music, but apparently it's like 30 grand if I want to have Taylor sing on my
Yeah. Well,
background. So
one of these days, I mean, it's going to be nothing.
one of these days she's gonna have her guitar back there live. You could come sing with her.
All right. I'm in.
All right. Bye, girl.
Bye.